Hi, you guys. Leanne Holitza here from the Healing Studio in Broomfield, Colorado. We are going to do our weekly Oracle check-in. I am still in the office, even though I know I said I was going to be out of town. I'm leaving right after this. And we'll see about next week. I'm going to put it on the schedule and try to get back to the office in time. It's kind of a coming down from the mountains and getting here kind of thing. So today we're using the Yantra deck, and then we're going to use Alice in Wonderland to give us our week. It's been a little funky, you guys. The astrological stuff, the energy, the Schumann resonance, whatever you want to be monitoring. The energies have been all over the place. So I hope you're taking good care of yourselves, and maybe just stop putting up with stuff. Okay, so here's where we're going to head. We're going to do our reading, which is our collective reading for the week with the Yantra deck. We're going to do a 1, 2, 3, where you're going to pick your first card. If you're watching later, that's your first card. If you're watching a little clip, that'll be your card. If you're watching live, that's your first card. You type me, please, in the comments, and I will get you another card. I typically get to everybody, and it has been getting a little difficult to kind of get to the end in time, but I typically just start to run over. And if I get enough of you on there, I might just extend the time that we're doing this. But this is a half an hour type activity. I recommend you stay through the whole thing because we start to hear messages over and over again. And then if we see card 3 times, it's 3 times a charm, which means it's for all of us. So we get our collective message, which we will work through at the end again. Okay. All right. So me, please, in the comments. Announcements. We have a sound bath coming up this Tuesday. There's actually an intro to Oracle card happening this afternoon. If you haven't signed up in your local, you want to pop in. There's still space in that. It's at 2. We have our fusion healings, which we're still doing, which is me doing mini reading with sound bath. That's coming up in August. Group readings, group healings, all the things. So just check out the website, Insightfulinspirations.com. See what floats your boat. All right. So I'm just going to call out the bottom of the list just to tell you where you are on being read so you can be patient and hang out with me. Okay. So Lori E, you're at the end. Denise S, you're at the end down there. So just know that I'm coming and I will get to you. And Janelle, happy birthday, ask. Is it your birthday? Happy birthday. Okay, well, you just popped in, so I absolutely will give you a card, but just a minute. All right, let's see. All right, so the first card that comes up is choice sideways. What this is saying is the choices have already been made. When the card comes sideways, it says lean into your choices. Do the things you said you chose to do. If you decided, for example, you were going to take a class, an Oracle reading class, and there was a temptation to do something else instead, you already chose to do the class, follow through. That's what this card is saying, okay? So for the week, the focus is support, giving and receiving on a sideways note. So that means be in support, be supportive, be in your own support, give and receive, but also know that if you are constantly the giver, how can anybody be giving to you? There's no space for that. So be able to just be still, say thank you when somebody brings you something that you need. And then at the end of the week, we got some devotion, which this is basically refined loyalties, refined getting into, this is what I love. This is what I want to spend my energy on. This is what I am spending my life force directing myself into. Okay. All right. Let's see what Alice in Wonderland wants to tell us about all this week. All right. So everybody feel in. This is your first card. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so if you picked 1, you're working with following the white rabbit. Okay, so this is curiosity meeting opportunity. What this is basically saying. So what I really like about this deck is that, or just using Alice in Wonderland's story, it's kind of a story of kind of bizarre awakening and coming back to herself. This is when she decides to follow her own path, right? She gets curious, she sees something happening, and she's like, I think I'm going to go follow that. And she gets herself into trouble by doing that, but maybe just also just coming back to her own self. Okay, so this week, follow with curiosity, ask lots of questions. All right, if you picked 2, you're going to become braver. So this one says resilience, experience, growing stronger, and fresh perspectives. Okay, so you can see 5 at the beginning of the story. She's getting braver. She's approaching what's happening. She's realizing that she's taken herself kind of out of her comfort zone, and she's starting to understand that it's good for her to have new experiences. So this is a new experience week for you. If you picked 3, you're going to keep your temper in the reverse, okay? So this says don't allow anger to rule you, but do allow anger to inform you, okay? Don't be avoidant of anger, just don't let it run the show. Once anger comes up, anger has information for you. What is it telling you about where you are in the week, where you are in your life, and how can you use it effectively to move you into alignment with something that's a little more peaceful? All right. We got it. Let's start at the top of the list. Melissa and Shannon have made it to the top. All right, Melissa, you got a moment's regret this week, okay? So nostalgia, idealizing the past, fearing you made a mistake. Okay, so this card is a warning not to go back and think that yesterday was better, or not to go back and think that, well, it used to be better. Yeah, okay, there's certain aspects of being 10 that might have been fun, but you also really, really wanted to be 11 and 12 and 13. Couldn't wait, right? So this card is just saying don't go backwards. And also just notice if you do stuff that you regret this week, apologize and reflect as fast as you can, okay? All right, Shannon, you are going to be working on coming curiouser and curiouser. Okay, so it's discovery, inquiry, well, weirdness, curiosity. So just let things get a little strange. Just get a little questioning of like, what is happening? Things don't seem the way they used to be. That's okay. They're not by design. We are not supposed to be doing it the old way. Okay. Stephanie R., you have upside down, shine bright like a candle. You will make it through this. Okay. So this card, when it's coming upside down, says, that at any minute it can all be gone, and that's okay. And you are a consciousness that has a lot of strength and ability to move yourself through with if you can keep focused on your own light. So this week, focus on your own light. Don't do it from resentment. Don't worry if anybody else notices. Just stay focused on yourself. Okay. All right, Miranda. I know. Sick from the heat. I know. I hear you. It is so intense. So, yes. I'm hoping it was a good energy cleanse as well. All right. Miranda, your card. Oh, you got bright like a candle right side up. So making sure you're going to make through this. Okay. So card doubling down, coming up twice like that. Stephanie got the upside down. You, Miranda, are getting the right side up, which just says shine your light. Paint your own life. Know that this is a very linear illusion, and it doesn't necessarily mean that we have all of the information that's really truth, but just live it the best you can right now. Okay, Jenny V, you got all in a golden afternoon upside down. So basically she is saying inspiration, creative spark, imagination, and conception, but she's starting at the very beginning. Okay, so beginner's mind for you this week, back into, not knowing where you're headed. It's okay. If you feel like you keep trying to make a map to where you're going and it doesn't work, maybe stop making a map. Maybe you're exploring new territory. Okay. Nicole and Addison. Nicole, you got some uncertainty brewing. Okay. So it says choose who you will become. So maybe you don't know and it doesn't make sense necessarily. And this week might be where you are deciding who am I, not as a role, but as a purpose, as a alignment with your authentic self. Okay. Addison, you're going to be focusing on forget who you are. So your mom's working on remembering who she is and you're forgetting. Okay, so conditioning's falling away. Memory no longer defines you. Who you've been, what you've experienced is not relevant in your forward progress. It can be, kind of part of you. It can be part of your story, part of your strength, but it's not identity anymore. That happened back then. Okay. All right, Kimberly P. and Juan Carlos. Kimberly, you've got upside down investigate. Okay, look closely and question everything. Think before acting. It's right, it's upside down. So this is going to be very important for you to do on anything that you know, kind of doing almost overly reflecting to other people what they're thinking. I hear you're saying this. Is that what you mean? That kind of stuff. Okay. Juan Carlos, you are going to work on keeping up with time. Okay. So immense effort and advance. Okay. So this is your relationship with time. Your linear time is kind of getting, it's getting kind of matched in your efforts. Whatever you're putting in, you're going to get out. So pay attention and use your time wisely, basically. You got nonsense. Okay. It's time to talk sense. This is when Alice decides she's sick of listening to the queen rant and go on, and she literally shuts it all down and says, I think this is crazy and I'm not going to follow these rules anymore. Okay. So just call nonsense on the whole week. Diane S., you are working on lead the way. Be a leader, show others how it's done. You can help others. Okay. So leaders don't do though. Leaders don't carry. They guide. They delegate to the right people. They give, you know, time and energy to the places that help them. Okay. So leading, being a leader. Okay. Kimberly S., you are, third time up, right side up, third time on the seeing this card. It's starting to come around, shine bright like a candle. See, she's got her little paintbrush. She's painting. And here she's like, you know, what if this all ends right now? Yeah, well, did you paint the life you wanted to paint? Focus on that this week. Paint the life you want to be part of. Okay, Janice and Josh. Janice, you are upside down. You can't go back to yesterday. Be in the present. Okay, so look for the pitfalls where you're kind of sinking back into woulda, shoulda, couldas. Okay, get out of the woulda, shoulda, couldas this week. You are here now. This is where we're going. Okay, Josh, you're going to focus on curiouser and curiouser in the upside down. So this is like literally, you know, getting into the weird, getting into like, I don't know what this means. And, you know, it's okay to kind of laugh about being weird. It's okay to laugh about how weird things get. I mean, life is weird. Weird things happen. It's funny what we're flashing on right now is this little bubble. I mean, I like literally have an 8-minute drive to my house, and there's so many little things that happen in this bubble. And one time I was given direction by the guides not to go to this one spot that literally was right down the street from my house for just a minute. And it's because parts of a plane fell out of the sky. It hit houses and stuff. It was crazy. Nobody got hurt. So anyway, follow the weird signs. Follow the weird signs. All right. Hannah and Sierra and Alondra. Hannah, you got to set the course. It's become, you know who you wish to be, have a plan. It's right. You're headed in the right direction. Stick with it. Okay. Know that, you know, life is always kind of like having to make choices about where we're headed. There's never like a landing spot, but it's okay to kind of make a plan for now. Okay. Sierra, you're going to work on being changed in a night. You have changed quickly. Sometimes we have to pause and integrate that change, whatever that means. Okay. So sometimes if we just kind of keep trying to push through the change, we will get so exhausted with ourselves because we have not integrated all the work we've done. So take a pause, integrate the change. Alondra, you got some choices this week, okay? Feeling blocked and restrained. Now, if you remember the beginning of the cards, those choices are like, we're saying you already did make choices, so go forward and finish up what you already chose to do, okay? So pay attention to what you've chosen and, you know, follow through with that choice. You got a big flash about that, so they want me to double down and say, follow through with your choices. Okay. Lisa C., you've got the law is not justice upside down. Okay. Rules are just not fair. It's like, if you have a justice mindset this week, it's like asking you to just, it's okay. You don't have all of the answers and the world doesn't always show you its fair side. But there's always balance happening. You just don't always know what it is. Okay, so try to trust the process. Okay, Cynthia. You got all in a golden afternoon right side up. Inspiration, creative spark, imagination, conception coming to the beginning. You're at the beginning of things. Beginner's mind, you learn new things. You don't go at it with your expertise. You go at it with a fresh perspective this week, okay? Okay, Susan, Steve, and BB. Susan, never jam today. And the upside down, it says basically, it says that you promises that never came to be, empty words, not liking what, okay, not living in the now. Sorry, I could use the glasses then on the top of my head. Okay, so what I'm hearing from your guides about this is like, look at where you've maybe kind of been living in like, well, this is supposed to work and that's supposed to work and I'm supposed to live, this is this promise and that promise. And know that the promise of tomorrow is never going to come because tomorrow is always tomorrow. You want to live in right now the promise of today. So every day to this week, live in the promise of today. All right, Steve, you're going to work with impossible things upside down, okay? So it's working through a disbelief. It's imaginative leaps, fresh perspectives. This is where, starts to like let herself just kind of see how weird things are and that it is happening. Now it's upside down. So it's like, maybe don't put so much effort on understanding the weird this week. Okay. Just maybe let the weird be weird and just be like, I don't know why that's weird. It just is. All right. BB, you're going to work with becoming braver upside down. Okay, so what this is saying, resilience, experience, getting stronger, fresh perspectives. It means that you're actually, it's going to be okay. You're learning your own strength. You're learning how to be you through all these processes. And this week you're going to just, it's not that you have to keep seeing scary things to become braver. You're just knowing you can trust yourself. Okay. All right. Okay, Janelle and Donnie. Janelle, you've got lead the way in the upside down. So this is leadership. Okay, this is about being a leader, showing others, the way. But you can help others, but don't over coddle them. Okay, when it's upside down, I'm hearing from your guides like don't help them just because you can. If they can help themselves, let them help themselves. That's also a good leadership skill. Okay, Donnie. Yes, and I see now, Janelle, your comment. I was supposed to be out of the office, but we're not leaving until 1, so I figured I'd come. Okay, Donnie, you are rare and free, upside down. Okay, so these are there's not many like you, is what it says. Okay, and when it's upside down, it's like don't make that a black sheep thing. Don't make that a problem that you're rare. You're free to be rare. You're free to be you. This week, you're really asking to be embracing that storyline that you are different and you're unique, but take out the victim energy or the martyr energy or the black sheep energy. Okay. All right. Tiff, forget who you are. This is the second time we've seen this one. Conditioning falls away. Memory no longer serves you. Be something different. Try to run the opposite direction of programs from society this week. Instead, lean into the energies of your inner truth and what delights you. Okay. Kelly and Matthew. Kelly, set your course. Okay. So go back to, this is the second time we've seen this. Know where you want to go. Have a plan. Give yourself some ideas about, this is, if I want to get a master's degree in a year, I'm going to have to sign up for classes now kind of thing. Right. Like, so thinking about what the plan is for your future. Matthew, don't drink the poison. Okay. Upside down in the protective. Basically, it says don't do things that are bad for you. Okay. I mean, good advice, right? But we all do it. So just be careful not to do anything that might, be detrimental to you or sabotaging what you're, trying to build. Okay. Clara. I think it's Clara, J-E. Okay, uncertainty for you. Second time we've seen this one. Choose who you will become. Yep, there's no answers. There's no fate line for you right now. There's no destiny. There's no instructions. Just you choosing which direction you want to go next. Okay, so let yourself do that. All right, Sunshine, Flutterbut, Travis. Okay, changed in the night in the upside down. Okay, so you have changed quickly, but you have not integrated it. And it's important for you to not continue to try and change some more until you've integrated what you've already done. I mean, I'm seeing this image of literally like having like plastic surgery on your nose and then not letting your nose heal before you decide you don't like how it looks and doing it again. Like, don't redo it this week, okay? Don't redo things. Let them show you what they are, okay? Travis, keeping up upside down, okay? So you're working with immense effort and advancing, but notice where you've maybe pushed on things when you could allow things to come in, okay? So don't push so hard on time this week. Okay, and Aaron T, you've got such a curious dream. You're at the end of something, you're grounding and returning to reality. Come home to yourself. Okay, so whatever needs to complete this week, let it complete. Whatever weirdness happened, you can recalibrate and come back to yourself. Okay, Christy, Lisa, and Kira. Christy, we are all mad here. Everyone's a little different. It's okay. We don't have to try to fit in or be acceptable to other people or even anything but ourselves. We're all a little cuckoo banana pots. Okay, Lisa, you are working with clock time upside down. Where are you trapped by the clock is really what this is asking you. Time, perseverance, in a rush. Sometimes when we're in a rush, it causes more problems. You know, the rushing past something and causing an accident because you're going too fast, that kind of thing. Slow down this week. Don't resist yourself. Kira, forget who you are in the upside down. We've been seeing this one circling around, so it might be for all of us, but basically it's saying conditioning needs to fall away for you. Forget who you think you're becoming. Whatever identities you're over-identifying with, forget it for a minute. This week, be something different. Try something new about yourself. Try on a new version of you. If you normally wear black, wear pink. If that pink feels really weird, that's great. Feel a little weird. Do it differently. Okay? Heidi M. Oh, we got uncertainty upside down again. This one's coming around and come around too. So this is like, there is no answers. Choose who you will become. This card might be landing with us as well. So just kind of a hearing that you know what? There's no answers right now. And it's okay. We hate that sometimes, but it's okay. All right, Tanya B, you got managed to be glad. Your guides are saying create your own happiness regardless of conditions. So this is basically like, yep, the world can be totally mad and crazy, and it's okay for you to still just be kind of giggly and happy about it. All right, seriously wonderful, Courtney. All in a golden afternoon for you too. Okay, so this one's coming around too. Be willing to have a beginner's mind, okay? In fact, the guides just told me that was 3 times the charm. So, okay. So all in a golden afternoon, I'm going to pull up the book then. Okay, you guys? So this is Lucy Cavendish is who the author of this is. Okay, so let's see what she has to say about All in a Golden Afternoon. She says, anon to sudden silence one, in fancy they pursue the dream child moving through a land of wonders wild and new. In ancient times, we did not think an individual was responsible for their creativity. More so, a person blessed with creative genius or divine spark or a brilliant idea was thought to be visited by a muse, a genie, or a spirit that could inspire someone with ideas that they were longing to be born into the world. At the very beginning of the tale of Alice, there is a poem, a preface, which portrays the moment the author was begged to create a story. The card represents a time immediately before Alice's existence. There is no rabbit hole, no Cheshire cat, no Mad Hatter, no Queen of Hearts. There's only the urge to tell a story. So there's an urge to tell a story, you guys. Start at the beginning. Back up. Create the characters. That kind of thing. Okay? All right. Let's see. All right. Colin and Terry. I don't know what the end of that word that is. Okay. The right way upside down. Okay, so Terry, learning to create what you desire. Stop trying to create the right way for everybody else. It's not going to work. There is no such thing as one right way. So it's okay, Terry, to let that go. Just give yourself whatever permission you need to say, my right way is for me. Colin, you've got mortality upside down, okay? So this is basically life is brief, bright, and yours to live. Be sure to be giving your life force energy to the living, not to the dying, not to the energies that are leaving the planet, but the energies that are staying, okay? Very important My guides told me that once when I was working on some things, and they were like, you're giving way too much life force energy to a place that does not need it. Okay. All right. Denise S. I said I would get here. I know it's been almost 30 minutes, but this time's third time's a charm. Curiouser and curiouser. Discover, inquiry, weird, and curiosity. All right. Let's pull it up, you guys. Let's see what she says. Okay, so she puts the little clip of the story, which I love, and then she gives a little interpretation. But I'm only read part of it. But curiouser and curiouser, cried Alice, is so much surprised that for the moment she quite forgot how to speak good English. I'm opening out like this largest telescope that ever was. When we enter new surroundings and allow ourselves to discover the wonders that lie within us, we often find ourselves feeling fascinated and filled with awe at what is taking place. When everything seems new and exciting, we can be filled with a kind of wonder that is most often thought to belong to children. The truth is, we can tap into that wonder again. So it sounds like they're really asking us to get into like a curious mind, kind of stepping away from the expertise, that kind of thing. Okay? All right, Lori E. We are all mad here. Second time we've seen that. Okay, so if people are driving you crazy, yet they might continue to drive you crazy this week. It's okay. Okay, let it go. It's okay. So just like observe the tea party. Know that you're mad too. Okay. All right. Let's see. We've got moving down to Robin, Austin, and Chris. Robin, never jam today. Promises that never come. Be careful. So this is in the story when Alice is like, let's have some jam. And the queen says, not today. We only have jam tomorrow. And tomorrow never comes because we're always in today. So we never eat jam. So just be careful what you're putting off, what you're procrastinating about, what you're not letting yourself have. Okay. Okay. So let's see. We've got Austin. You've brought the fourth time's the charm all in a golden afternoon. Okay. So I want you to acknowledge to yourself that this is the very beginning of something. Okay. And this is for all of us now. Listen up, because this is the fourth time we've seen this card. The divination of this card says time to create an imaginative idea, inspirations that take hold, talent and ability. The muse touches down in your life. Get ready. How exciting is that? All right. Chris, you're going to also work on Never Jams today, which brings it 3 times the charm to us, you guys. All right. So Robin and Chris, you guys got to be careful that you're not just putting things off and putting things off. Here's what it says. When the White Queen makes her outrageous statement that jam is for tomorrow and for yesterday, but never for today, Alice realizes that no one is ever going to get any jam. When this card comes to you, what can it mean? Well, it's likely that someone is making promises that sound like they're plenty on offer, when in fact they're extremely unlikely that they will ever deliver and come through with all the wonderful things they are attracting with you. So you see, this card comes when someone is claiming they can do good for you, but when they are offering a pay raise or good time or commitment, it's never to be. The promise is never ever delivered or enjoyed today. I hear from the guides, though, it's really important that you don't put stuff off, okay? Tomorrow's never promised kind of thing. All right? Okay. Selma and Marita, hi. And then, so Cynthia says she's in Ken Honda's Happy Money Weekend workshop. Perfect match for great echo. Nice. I love it. I love when the guys are like, hello, let's say this again and again. Okay, so let's do Selma. You got to follow the white rabbit. Okay, so get curiosity meets opportunity. Say yes more than no this week, okay? It's really good for you to give yourself a chance to just lean in to the opportunities. Maybe you don't know where you're headed, but do it and see what happens. There's a period of times where my guides are like, I know you normally say no to podcasts, or I know you normally say no to meetings with random people, but say yes this week to those random people. And I do, and it typically works out in a nice little fashion. I've met somebody, or I've learned something, or, whatever. All right, Marita, yes. And I may not be on next week, you guys, or I may be later. So if you subscribe and hit the bell button, I hear the bell button isn't always working, but if you subscribe, at least you will know when I'm going to go live. I'm going to put it on my normal time. I'm going to probably come back because I have to check out anyways where I'm at. So we'll probably come straight to work, but we'll see. All right, Marita. Yeah, this is my job. Isn't that funny? This is my job. I'm at work. Boy, 5th time's a charm, all in a golden afternoon. Okay, everybody, listen up because this has been coming and coming and coming. Okay, here we go. Ready? What wonderland can you create when you allow yourself to be open to the genius all about you and invited to come into the world through you? You're imaginative, you're creative, you have that spark within you. Whatever it is you wish to do, paint, draw, sing, write, dance, do this creative, vital, brilliant, life bringing thing in. Okay, be creative this week, you guys. All right, I'm going to throw a card for Matt, my husband. And then if you're still hanging out and you haven't typed me, please, here's your last chance to get a card. All right, here we go. Matt. Oh, he brought the follow the right white rabbit 3 times the charm. He almost always brings us a 3 times the charm. All right, ready? I'm going to read the little blurb about the story. Here it is. But when the rabbit actually took a watch out of his waistcoat pocket and looked at it and then hurried on, Alice started to her feet, for it flashed across her mind that she had never before seen a rabbit with either a waistcoat pocket or a watch to take out of it. And burning with curiosity, she ran across the field after it and was just in time to see it pop down a large rabbit hole under the hedge. This says a wondrous opportunity is going to break through your ordinary reality and give chance to change in your world and your perception forever. Sounds like a big week of beginnings, you guys. Woohoo! Let's do it. Okay, Jane is popping in. Hi, Jane. I will give you a card, and then we will call it good for today. I'll summarize what our main cards were for the week, though, real quick. But here's Jane's card. And Jane brings another 3 times the charm, of course. So uncertainty, okay? Choose what you want to become. So I'm going to read a little bit of the blurb again from this author here. And I am going to tell you that I'm going to put it all together in just a minute here. Okay. The caterpillar and Alice looked at each other for some time in silence. At last, the caterpillar took the hookah out of its mouth and addressed her in a languid, sleepy voice. "Who are you?" said the caterpillar. This was not an encouraging opening for a conversation. Alice replied rather shyly, I hardly know, sir. Just at the present, at least I know who I was when I got up this morning, but I think I must have changed several times since then. Good advice from the unexpected quarter. If you try, practice, and are willing to make mistakes along the way, you'll become far more powerful and reach the place you're longing to be. So there you go, Jane. That's your message, and that's a message for all of us. I'm going to pull out the 3 times the charm cards. Ready? We got Follow the White Rabbit, which is being curious. We got All in a Golden Afternoon, which is about your creativity and sparking new beginning things. Beginner's Mind. We've got Curiouser and Curiouser. Okay. Weirdness, opportunity that things are not the way they seem or used to seem. And careful, never jam today. Never making promises about if and whens, because right now is the time that you live your best life. Today, now, present time. All right, you guys, I so appreciate you watching. I am going to try to come back next week at the same time, but this is my typical time as coming on at noon Mountain Time to do these readings for about a half an hour. So hit subscribe. I'm also sometimes just going live for other discussions about energy and things like that. So, all right, you guys, go be amazing. See you later.